Hi, my name is Vera and I teach English as a second language to students from all over the world. I have lived in 4 countries and now make videos about intercultural communication. And this video is part 2 to my previous video where I talked about the concept of confidence versus humility, inspired by a culture clash that I experienced when I moved from Spain to South Korea. In Spain, where people are very confident and very outgoing and outspoken and friendly and interactive. And in Korea, it's almost the extreme opposite. People are very humble. They want to avoid conflict. They're very reserved. Nobody wants to stick out from the rest of the group. Nobody wants to be the first one to communicate with the speaker if the speaker is addressing an audience. And well, I gave some tips on how to behave whether you're moving from Europe to Asia or vice versa. So in this video, I'm going to talk about things that my students have told me about their countries that I haven't been to and I know very little about except for their stories. So starting off with Brazil, when Brazilians are with other Brazilians, they behave similar to the way Spanish people do. They're very confident because if you don't speak up for yourself, people won't listen to you. You have to believe in yourself and be confident, otherwise you won't achieve your full potential. However, an interesting thing happens when Brazilians switch to English. For some reason, I got told that unless you have the most perfect accent and make no mistakes at all, you shouldn't even bother speaking up. People judge themselves and each other on their level of English. And to me, it's very strange because even if you make some minor mistakes, but you're still completely understandable, you can still make an interesting and important contribution. But anyway, if you're going to Brazil and you're planning on making a speech and interacting with your audience, just know that if you do it in English, people are going to be a lot more reserved than if you do it in their mother tongue, Portuguese. Then in Costa Rica, people apparently are very chilled, they're quite shy, and they wouldn't want to interact with the speaker so much in this kind of situation. Then in Germany and France, similar to Spain, people are very outgoing, very outspoken, very confident. They have no problem speaking up. The more confident you are, the better. Of course, in every country, nobody wants to be arrogant. Nobody wants to speak too much. There's a limit to everything. And there are probably shy people everywhere. But in general, you would have no problem getting someone to communicate with you from the crowd. But surprisingly, in Belgium, people are very reserved. Perhaps it's because the country was created as a way to keep the peace between the big countries that surround it, like France and Germany, and maybe the people inherited that quality and made it part of their culture, that they want to keep the harmony, and they're very reserved. In England, where I used to live, I think it's somewhere in between the confident and humbleness extremes. People want to avoid conflict too, and so a lot of them are very reserved, but at the same time somebody would communicate with the speaker. I feel like they would feel bad for the speaker if there was complete silence. They would try to make an effort and somebody would speak up for sure. And in Russia, where I used to live, people are very confident. Yeah, they have no problem speaking up. If they want to, they will speak to you. And well, that's it for today, and I hope you enjoyed it. I surely find this very, very interesting, and I hope you do too. And at the same time, I think this could be really useful when traveling or moving to a new country, because I feel like conflicts arise when we have false expectations, like the way I did in Korea. I expected people to behave the same way as they did in Spain, which is absurd. And it was my own fault. I didn't do the research, and instead I had to learn through this difficult and awkward experience that it is actually different. But if we share these tips with each other, or some people tell me something interesting, I would definitely share it on here, and that way we can make the transition smoother and have fewer conflicts and enjoy living in this world no matter where we go. Thank you for watching. Bye.